Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're going on a pretty intimate journey into a feeling that's, well, it's completely universal, but we almost always suffer it alone. We're talking about shame, you know, that feeling, the heavy one that just settles in, maybe hours after a tough conversation. Your body just hasn't let it go.
A kindness.
Yeah, a tightness, a kind of density right under your ribs that just won't lift.
It's that quiet feeling. It's not loud like anger or even like, typical sadness. It's more insidious, really, because it convinces you that you yourself are fundamentally broken.
So that's our mission today.
It is. To dive into shame, but not as some kind of moral failing. We want to look at it as an ancient physical signal, to understand how it lives in your body.
And how to be free from it.
Exactly. But not by fighting it,
Yeah.
not by trying to banish it, but by meeting it with a really courageous kind of presence.
Yeah. Okay, so before we go any further, we have to clear something up. The thing that trips almost everyone up. Shame versus guilt. We hear them used all the time as if they're the same, but they're worlds apart, aren't they?
Worlds apart. Guilt is, well, it's specific. It's focused. It's about a behavior.
An action.
An action. Guilt says, I did something bad. You forgot a deadline. You snapped at someone. You broke a promise. It's uncomfortable, for sure, but it doesn't destroy your sense of self-worth. It tells you, you made a mistake, and you can fix it.
But shame is so different. It's a full-body condemnation. It whispers something so much more corrosive. Shame says, I am bad.
Yes, it attacks the core of who you are, makes you feel unworthy, unacceptable, just flawed for existing. Guilt wants you to make things right. Shame just wants you to disappear.
And that disappear impulse, that's where the body comes in.
It is. That's exactly why we see it physically. When shame shows up, the whole organism tries to shrink. Your breath gets shallow. You hold it.
The shoulders curl forward.
The shoulders curl forward. It's this reflexive, protective posture, hiding the soft front of your body, your heart, your throat, from some kind of perceived threat.
And that physical part is so important because shame desperately wants to be hidden. It tells you if anyone knew you felt this, they'd agree, they'd know you're worthless.
Which is the ultimate paradox.
Right.
Because shame absolutely thrives in the dark. It just grows in silence, fed by you avoiding it and by that deep, isolating belief that you are the only one, that no one else could possibly feel this way.
So let's bring in the framework we're using for this, the Gestalt perspective. How does that help us see this differently?
Well, Gestalt sees the person as a whole, integrated organism. So we don't look at that heavy, shrinking feeling and label it toxic or broken.
Okay.
We see it as an ancient alarm system.
Yeah.
It's wired right into our nervous system to prevent rejection, to prevent being cast out of the tribe, which was, a death sentence.
But if it's a survival strategy, why does it feel so awful, so painful? If it's trying to protect us, why is it so isolating? I mean, hiding. Sometimes that was the best short-term strategy, right?
That is the essential question. And yes, hiding was a successful strategy when we were younger, or in an environment where being your authentic self was dangerous.
But the alarm stays on.
The alarm stays on. It doesn't turn off when the danger is gone. So it keeps interpreting new, safe situations through these old, fearful filters. The heaviness you feel, it's actually a form of contact. It's a part of you trying to speak, not with words, but through sensation, through posture. The isolation comes from how fast we reject that voice.
That makes so much sense. The problem isn't the feeling itself, it's our immediate rejection of it. So an invitation for you listening, just right now, notice that physical signature. Is there a knot in your stomach? Is your jaw tight? A little slump in your shoulders? Just let it speak in its own language. Sensation before you slap a judgment on it.
And if we follow that sensation back, we almost always find that the origin was external. Shame is learned. It starts in a moment where some part of you, your real expression, was met with disapproval. A parent's impatient look when you cried, a teacher sighing, a friend's joke at your expense.
And the body just, it records that instantly. The message is immediate and painful. This part of me, my neediness, my excitement, my sensitivity, it is not welcome here.
And because we're wired for connection, what do? We tuck that part away. We learn to edit ourselves. And over time, that outside voice, the one that said, don't be so sensitive, or why are you so much? It moves inside.
It becomes the inner critic.
And it speaks so convincingly in your own voice that you think it's the truth, the absolute truth. It becomes the editor of your whole life.
And that editing, that's where we lose our vitality. Let's talk about how that works, that mechanism of interruption. You talk about the cycle of contact.
Right. Think of the cycle as the body's natural way of processing, well, anything. A need, a stimulus, starts with sensation. I feel hungry, I feel a longing. That moves to awareness. I realize, oh, this is a need for connection, or food, or just rest. Then comes mobilization. Energy starts to rise. You get ready to act. That leads to action. Then contact, you connect with something or someone, then satisfaction, and finally withdrawal. The need is met. You rest.
It sounds so simple, a beautiful natural flow, like breathing.
It is.
Yeah.
But shame is the master of interruption. It just slams the brakes on that cycle, often right at the edge of awareness or mobilization, before the energy can even become an action.
Can you give an example? Make that real for us.
Sure. Let's say you're in a meeting. You have a really good idea. That sensation and an awareness bubbling up, the energy starts to rise. That's mobilization. You're about to speak.
And
then the inner critic, fueled by old shame, just slams the door. The thought is, they'll think I'm an idiot or don't take up so much space. And the energy just collapses.
Right.
Instantly. Your breath gets short. Your shoulders tense up. You interrupt the action. You look down at your notes. You stay silent. That's the moment shame wins. Not by making you feel bad, but by keeping you from being fully you.
And what's so important here, and so tender really, is that this interruption, it's not a failure. It's not you being weak.
No, not at all.
It's a survival strategy. It's this profound loyalty to a younger you who learned that being quiet, being composed, that was the only way to get love, or at least to stay safe.
We have to honor that strategy, but we also have to recognize it's outdated. The work now is to operate from today's reality, not yesterday's history, which brings us to projection.
Right.
When we carry all this internalized shame, we walk into a room and we just feel it. Everyone here thinks I'm boring. They can all tell how nervous I am.
We're putting our own inner monologue into their heads. We're not even reacting to the real person in front of us.
Not at all. We're reacting to a ghost from the past who once told us we were pathetic. And we cast that ghost shadow onto every new person we meet.
This is why the Gestalt approach feels so revolutionary. It asks us to own our experience instead of giving it away.
Yes. So instead of thinking they think I'm pathetic, the shift is to notice, wow, I'm feeling pathetic right now. And that's a painful feeling I carry inside me.
And that I shift, that's everything.
That's where you reclaim your agency. You move out of being a victim. They're making me feel this way, and into what we call existential responsibility. It's saying, this feeling is mine. It's here in me for me to explore.
And the second you claim it, you bring it into the light.
And it starts to lose its power, because its power depends entirely on secrecy.
I imagine that's incredibly scary, though. If I claim the feeling I feel pathetic, what stops me from just spiraling down into more self-hate? How do I start to trust my body when my whole history has taught me to fear what it's telling me?
That's the practice of presence. We don't analyze the feeling, we get curious about it. We already said shame is a posture, right? A collapse, a height. So instead of fighting that posture, trying to force yourself to sit up straight, you gently inhabit it. You explore it.
So I would actually let my shoulders round forward, drop my chin, feel that weight, and then what?
And then you begin a dialogue with yourself. You ask the posture, what are you trying to protect me from right now?
Wow.
Because the posture is telling a story. Maybe it's protecting you from being seen as needy, or from the vulnerability of asking for something, or just from getting hurt again.
So by doing that, we're connecting the psychological feeling to the physical reality, right here, right now. And that starts to heal that split.
Exactly. And that protection, that story, it leads us right to the source, to the unfinished business in the past.
All those emotional loops that never got closed, the tears you weren't allowed to cry, the anger you had to swallow.
The comfort you desperately needed but never came. The huge realization is, you don't need that other person to come back and fix it now. You are here now.
And this is reparative contact.
This is it. It's the radical act of witnessing yourself, of giving yourself the comfort that was missing. It might look like just sitting quietly, putting a hand on your chest, and offering total acceptance to that younger part of you who learned they had to perform to be loved.
You become the compassionate adult that you needed back then.
You do. You whisper to that feeling of unworthiness. It's okay to take up space. You don't have to earn my love. I see you. I'm here now. That internal act, it restores the broken connection to yourself.
So the gift here isn't getting rid of shame, because it's just a signal.
It's an ancient signal.
The real freedom is presence. It's no longer needing to hide from yourself to feel safe. And it's not about closing the door on the past. It's about opening to the present moment.
And that opening lets you feel everything again. When you stop running from shame, you stop running from it all. The grief, the joy, the longing, even healthy rage. All the things you thought were too much for the world.
They come back not as threats, but as information, as vital messengers. The goal then is just to meet that next wave of heaviness with curiosity, not with judgment. To ask that quiet question every time. What are you trying to protect me from?
So what this all really means is that you are not broken for feeling shame. You are human. And if you notice your shoulders dropping just a little right now, your breath getting a bit deeper, that's your organism saying, I can rest now. That's softening. That is the aliveness under the weight.
And courage in this context is just that. Staying present with what hurts without turning away. That honesty, even when you're trembling. That is the most courageous form of contact there is. First with yourself, and then eventually with the world.
Which brings us to our final thought for you to carry, a question to explore in those moments when the inner editor starts its work. Who would you be if you stopped editing yourself? The goal isn't to keep asking, am I enough? It's to whisper into your own body, I am here. Freedom doesn't show up like a lightning bolt. It arrives breath by breath,